Hello, there's what's going on here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, crap. Hello, everybody. This is Todd standing, uh, just working out some bugs on my YouTube live. I see some people coming on. Awesome. There we go. Hey, everybody. It's time for my Facebook Live. Oh, my goodness. Stuff is just popping up that shouldn't be here. Hey, Amanda. How's it going? So, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hey, Riffy, thanks so much. Awesome, guys. So, always questions, everybody. Happiest wife ever. I remember happiest wife ever. Uh, what I wanted to start out with was I have I was in, a man went missing in Merritt a few weeks ago. Hey, everybody. And I went out I had some extra time, so I went out to do a search and rescue to look and get involved with the just do my own search and rescue. What happened was search and rescue, they have their own way of doing things, which is very different from the way I would do things or the way a tracker would do things. And hey, William. So I went out there and realized how my ability to do tracking and my ability, I read animals. It's the animals that live there, the animals that know the forest. I would track and watch the animals, and I would go and follow the man's trackways. And that's not how search and rescue works. And the biggest problem that had happened when I went out to help with search and rescue is thanks, Frankie, I am feeling better. Is the animals were in chaos. People were wandering around, dirt bikes were going over, helicopters are flying over every few minutes. Deer that live in a certain area were pushed out of that area by search and rescue. It was the animals were in chaos like I'd never seen. Wild horses running all over the place. I realized that for a tracker, and if you can really understand what tracking means, which most people don't, most people think tracking is following tracks, and it's not. It's reading the signs. It's watching the animals, and it's not just the signs of the tracks on the ground. It's the signs of the animals. It's the signs that the forest gives. It's the sounds that you hear. The crows can lead you to dead bodies, and all things were in such ravenous chaos that it was total chaos. So I found some stuff that was very interesting, and but in the end, uh, I realized after what the signs I was seeing is the signs that if the man is out there, the man could not have survived. So hello, Ontario IT research. Um, so, anyways, I just when I'm out there and at risk, it's always you're putting yourself at risk, especially the way I do things, going backcountry to help out. When there's a point where there's 0% chance that a man could be alive at that point. It's really just recovery time. And I've found bodies in the wilderness before, and it's very painful, very difficult. And I'm not at a point in my life where I can do that. So once I realized the man could not have survived if he was out there at all, there was no chance of him surviving. And I could see it in nature. uh, I saw that it had gotten warm one day, and then I saw the temperatures had dropped to below -20 based on the tracks on the ground. There were meltouts, and then you could see that they were wet. And then when they froze up again, they had cracked. And this had happened within the week that he was gone, which tells me that that's serious cold nights, and survival in those cold nights without preparation. I wouldn't be able to survive. And I know that man was tough as nails, but over 3, 4 days, there's no food in your stomach to generate heat. You're not going to survive. Another question that I was asked too was, what about Sasquatch out there? And on that mountain is cattle and wild horses and just a mess. The indigenous people there that helped me, that put on a beautiful ceremony for me. Hey, Craig from Seattle. I'm reading all your stuff on the way by. Keep talking, guys. I need some questions. But anyhow, all the native people knew about Sasquatch there. I'm going back there for a ceremony in May, I hope. Merritt, the people in Merritt were wonderful and amazing. Now I've got them friends on Facebook, and I owe them all some videos and stuff. I had a sit down. I had a meeting with them, um, and yeah, that's amazing. So, any more Bigfoot video coming soon? Well, I have the California Sasquatch videos. They're not better than anything I've ever done before. It was just the California Sasquatch videos that are coming eventually. We're just What's great about it is I can go into a spot if there's Sasquatch there. I can stand on the shoulders of great men and women, and and help move that discovery forward very quickly. So, and the point is too, it's very repeatable what I do, scientifically repeatable, which is super super important. So the question here is, Mr. Skeptical, why aren't you out in the bush? You said February is prime time. Ha ha ha! Who said February is prime time, Mr. Skeptical? Not where I'm from. February is one of the coldest months of the year. So uh, I was I was going to, and I'm still going to do an expedition in March and late February, but that's in a different. I was going to a new spot, so we're in the Vancouver Island area where something's happening over there in the biology where the salmon aren't running and the Sasquatch seem to come out and they're picking. They're more along the coastlines, and it's probably because food sources are less. There's not an abundance of berries that time. They go after the shellfish, and that's why Vancouver Island was the location for that. So, but it's not prime time where I'm from. And my home research sites, hell no, it's not prime time. Am I planning on soon coming to the East Coast? I just, no. I mean, if I do tours, if I'm gonna go do a showing or something, then yeah. But for research, I can't spread myself out thin. It's really my research is really hard. It takes 8 years for a primatologist to start getting good success with gorillas and chimpanzees, and I think Sasquatch are like that. I'm sorry that kicked out. I have sick internet connections here, so I don't know why it's being ridiculous like that. I so Mort Piat asked if I was ever to Ohio looking for Bigfoot. Yes, oh, I love Ohio. It's beautiful, gorgeous terrain, and I wasn't able to get much going on there. It was only I've only been to Ohio for maybe 2 weeks, once for 1 week and once for another week, I think. I haven't been out there for much, an extended length of time, and Ohio's gorgeous, and the grass man is what they call Sasquatch out there. And I don't know, I haven't seen anything in Ohio, but beautiful, wonderful terrain. I adored it there. What are my thoughts on Mount St. Helens Sasquatch after the explosions? I don't know. Nobody that I cooperate with has specifically had information on that, but it sounds very interesting. See, I'm just a little guy. I don't, I have people that I work with and I have a wonderful cooperation, but there's only so much time and we need help. We need more people working and I'll be definitively facilitating that very soon. And I'm very happy about the people that are working with me. My best friends are now people that have gone on expeditions with me and people that are helping me out with stuff like Amanda and expeditioners Andy and Sean and so many. I don't even, sorry, I'm not naming everybody, but yeah, it's a lot. So the kid 1965 says, why don't we find the remains of these beasts? I don't, I would never call them beasts, but yeah, I guess I could see how that could be said because they're enormous and amazing and huge. It's because I've spent thousands of days in the backcountry now, and I've never found a bear skull. I've never found a mountain lion remains. So you're talking about a rare species that likely has reverence for their dead, like the Native Americans do, and they might put their dead in a specific spot. It's just a theory, but we're talking when you're looking for a rare species that is attracted to the most remote regions, then how would you even hope to find bodies? It would be wonderful if we did, and I would be very happy. But the other thing is, who can tell the difference between a thigh bone of an elk or a thigh bone of a bear or a human, right? How many forensic anthropologists are out there that could identify things beyond a skull, right? So many bones will be scattered, and I don't know. Skulls are the only thing that are going to be like blatantly obvious to any sort of person, and skulls are extremely rare from big predators. So um, yeah, it's a really really hard thing, and that would be my dream though. I hope somebody somewhere finds a skeleton and proves the species exists. So yeah, that would be wonderful. Somebody Frank said he went to Yosemite last year and can see how Sasquatch thrive out there, and the grandeur is immense. You bet. People that think there's not enough area for them to survive in, you're off your rocker. When I take people on an expedition, we travel hundreds of miles, and there's just nothing out there. The Sasquatch could literally go. from California, from Northern California. They could walk straight up through Oregon, go through Idaho, cross over to Montana, take a left into Washington, cross up into British Columbia, take a right, cruise through Alberta, and go north right up into Alaska and never be seen. So, wow, that's what I have to say about people that think they can't exist. It's immensely, immensely wild in Canada and the United States. Lots of remote terrain, again, starting in Northern California and just going, and when you get down past in the Southern California, that's not my terrain anymore. You're getting into deserts, you're getting into armadillos and stuff that I just don't know about, and it's a whole new ball game for me. Northern California and beyond is terrain and substrate and plants and animals that I can really recognize, and I understand. So any Sasquatch in Pennsylvania? I haven't been there. I've just heard things, but I don't know. Thanks for the question. Um, I always, you guys are so awesome. Uh, you guys always have such good questions. It's such good therapy for me to come on here. It doesn't matter what's going on in my life. You guys are amazing. These questions are phenomenal. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on and doing some Sasquatch therapy with me. I love it. So, do I think they use fire? Hell no, Priscilla. No way they use fire. They fear technology. They fear. Here, I'm going to give you a little tidbit. This will help you in your enigma. I teach people this when they come on expeditions. Remember, they're my teachers. I am the student of Sasquatch. That's how I have success with them. And I'll tell you something. They fear technology because they see how it's literally made us insane. The more technology, the more we embrace technology, the more you move away from the wilderness and wildness. You can't argue that. The more technologically advanced we become, the less hunting we do, the less foraging we do. Now we go to superstores and buy things that are plastic. It's a whole new world. And most people live in cities and they're entirely unconnected to the natural world. And Sasquatch fear that because they know once you go down that road to technology and it starts with fire, you can never go back. And they adore and love the wilderness with all their heart and soul. That's what they are. They are wilderness. So I hope that helps you understand. That's just a little tip of the iceberg to help you understand who these beings are and why they would never use fire. Never. Even, I'll tell you, this is really cool. The old Geronimo, amazing, amazing, incredible Geronimo, who easily hid for years and years from the Mexican government and the United States government. Couldn't find him for nothing. Couldn't find him for nothing. They hired a native. One day they said, well, we go send an Apache to go find Geronimo. He'll never do it because we haven't done it in years and years and years. Almost, I think it was nearly a decade. And they sent a native up to find Geronimo. The next day he came back and he went, yeah, he's up on the hill. I'm like, what do you mean? He's watching you the whole time. He's stealing your supplies. He's living off you guys. He's been doing it this whole time. And so I hope that you understand that the old white trackers were good. They weren't chumps. They were impressive people. The old natives were at a whole other level. So I'm going to bring this level down. This is where the natives are. And I guarantee you, I promise you, if you talk to Geronimo knew Sasquatch was real. Geronimo rode around on a horse, did start fires, and had a gun. He had shoes on. He had technology. And if you ask Geronimo how good he thought a Sasquatch is, he would tell you Sasquatch are a whole other level. They couldn't find Geronimo, and he had a horse, and he started fires, and he had shoes. You know what I mean? He had technology. Good luck finding a Sasquatch who's at a whole other level above anything Geronimo could ever hope for. Geronimo would tell you that the Sasquatch are my teachers. They are the masters of the wilderness. And you better have some reverence for that species when these incredible, amazing Apaches and Crees and Iroquois and all these different native people, Hoopa Indians, the Salish, it goes on and on and on. Even now, it's a branch of the Kootenai Indians called the Sasquatch Winchestatunga, which means tall person. And I meet these new native groups and I hear all these new wonderful terms for Sasquatch that are amazing. And they all have this incredible reverence for what they would call the masters of the wilderness. That's how good they are. That's how I have reverence for them. They're bigger, stronger, faster, and more. They're evolved into nature in ways that are mind-boggling. They're connected spiritually. Do you understand how deep that is? Spiritually connected, physically, mentally evolved. Biology is through the roof. I was talking to some big name Hollywood people that are doing movies like X-Men, and I go, why are you doing X-Men? You know what? Sasquatch would tear Wolverine limb from limb and whoop his ass like a bitch. You're doing movies about fake superheroes when the most man-like primate on the planet is the most incredible, amazing thing you'll ever see, and they're right there Watch me. Don't take my word for it. Come out with me and I will show you these incredible beings. And that's how I feel about them. And I'm not going to pull any punches about it. So how fast do you think the Sasquatch are? That's by David Black. So fast. In fact, if you ever saw how fast a gorilla could move over a short distance, Sasquatch don't use technology, but they're intelligent. And you know how a sprinter will use blocks to bolt off? If you ever see a Sasquatch and he's got a tree behind him and he'll crouch down to that tree and blast off it like blocks, that happened to me once. I'll tell you, I was feeding a young Sasquatch. I was leaving him gifts on this rock. And one day, an older Sasquatch came along and said enough. It was pissing him off because this Sasquatch didn't like me. So as I was walking down to that, what I called the gift rock, I saw this Sasquatch come out and look at me, and he's kind of growled at me like he was upset. And I immediately I lifted up my shirt to look at, and I thought about my gun. And as soon as I did that, he squatted down. He pushed back. I don't mean squatted. I mean he compressed up against that tree like he was going to blast off of it. And he looked at me and he went, "Move for that gun, boy." And he was about 40 yards away from me, and I guarantee you, he'd have been on me before I got that gun drawn. I could see it in his eyes. He was ready to just fly right across that freaking ravine, and he would have been on top of me in 2 seconds. So he'd have hit me with infrasound, knocked me unconscious. He would have owned me in 20 different ways. Believe me, when he looked at me like that, and he looked me right in the eye, he said, he knew what that gun was, and he said, "Reach for it, boy." And I'm telling you, I put my hands up, and I said, "I apologize, sir. I never gifted that younger Sasquatch with a rock again." This was in Montana. Ever gifted that Sasquatch again. He's the boss. I'll tell you, seeing that look in his eyes, seeing him compressed like that, I knew he was going to come at me so fast. It was powerful in that moment. And when he saw me raise my hands and he saw that I was out of respect and appreciation for him, backed away, I could see him kind of go, "You better be afraid, boy." And then as I walked away, he just kept looking at me, and then I could see him uncompress. I covered my gun back up and just walked away watching him, even humbly. And I showed him respect, and I showed him too that I was afraid, because I was afraid. That was he was mad, and I'm not going to cross a Sasquatch, not in this lifetime or the next. So they're the boss of the mountains, and they get all the respect from me. I just saw what looked like a good question. I believe you wholeheartedly saw one. Well, thank you. I've seen one many times. If you're talking to me, man dude 34, how do we teach kids about Bigfoot? Oh, good question. How do we teach kids about Bigfoot? Just be honest with children. Yeah, just be honest. I mean, let a child decide for themselves. Let everybody decide. I feel like a kid. You know, I am a kid. I love to play with toys. The best times of my life are with my son and my daughter. I adore them, and it's because I'm just a kid. I get to go watch movies with kids, and it's the greatest joy in my life is having a child, because I get to be my inner child. So just be honest with children. Let them decide for themselves. Children are wonderful and honest and amazing, and such an incredible gift in your life. So I remember how serious my work became. Maybe when I did my first tour of my mini doc back in 2007, my work became very serious to me, because at the end of a showing, a little boy came up to me and he said that I was his hero, and he had a cool hat on, and he said like I was like a real life Indiana Jones. And I realized that I would never lie or cheat or do anything derogatory that would hurt his feelings, because he had entrusted in me, and it meant a lot. So with children, just be honest and truthful, and show them the pro and con, right? To let them understand that there's people that are certain this species can't exist. So just be honest with them and let them make their own minds up. So because that's what I would say do with an adult or a child, because I am a child. I feel like a little kid, and I'm proud to be young like that. So Ontario IT Research says, take children into nature and teach them to respect the land and animals, and learn to listen to the forest and their instinct. Better answer. Daniel, you're smarter than me. No, you're not. We're just good people. Isn't it awesome to have people like that in my life? This is a wonderful lady from Ontario that is just, all the stuff that goes on with me and is going on right now, of the turmoil, who knew that it would be people that support me in my research that have become true friends? You find out who your true friends are when shit falls apart. I'm sorry, I swear, but I apologize. When stuff all falls apart, you find out who your true friends are and who is going to stab you in the back and lie and cheat and deceive you. Your enemies will come out when you're down too. When you fall, that's when your enemies will show up and your true friends will rise up. And it's been the people that a lot of people that more people that I've done expeditions with and are helping me with Sasquatch research have shown up to be my friends than people that I actually thought were my friends. I got a lot of knives in my back right now, and it's very hurtful. Okay, this looks interesting. This starts good. This may sound weird. Let's do that. I like it. I like weird. This may sound weird, but I can feel souls, me and my whole family have psychic abilities. Psychic ability isn't weird anymore. It's real. It exists. If you don't believe psychic ability is a reality, then you're delusional. So psychic ability is real. Deal with it. It exists. It happens. It's real. Some people have it more strongly than others. I'm working on my psychic ability as best I can because I feel things. I feel my way through nature. Abilities that feelings have saved my life on so many occasions. I'd be a fool not to accept it. Anyway, continue with the questions. Have psychic ability that mine, and I know you are real and true, and I can't wait to be 18 so I could join you in the field. Oh, it's thank you, man, dude. 34 sounds like you're not quite a man. Don't be in a big rush to turn 18, but thank you very much. I'm flattered. What a wonderful thing to say, and yeah, I hope that I can continue having tremendous success with this research. Um, how old is Jake? How old is Jake? Is he around? How old is he? If I sat down and really crunched the numbers, I mean, I think, holy crap, thanks, Frank. I think he's probably around 21 right now. I could give you a much closer number, but I think, and my heart hurts about Jake. Frank, my friend, keep up the great work. This does help. Thank you for the donation. A great way also to make a donation is to go to Patreon. I'm Todd, Patreon, Todd Standing. If you Google, if you just punch in Todd Standing Patreon, that's an excellent way to help out. And then when you give a donation there, I'd like to give you something back. And I have lots of stuff to give back. So, and for those of you who had made donations and I'm a little behind, my sincere apologies for that. Sincere apologies. I'm just being drugged through the hot coals right now. All this is going to come out when this is all over. I'm I'm doing court things and stuff right now, and there's a lot of big problems going on. And but when this is all over and when this is said and done, I'll I'll come out and tell the truth, and I have a lot to talk about. So this has been hard. So um, okay, Todd, don't get kooky. Okay, sorry, chain reaction. Was I getting kooky? I'm a little Bigfoot's kooky though. It's hard to not be kooky and do Bigfoot stuff. What does Bigfoot feed on? I think Bigfoot just mostly like bears. You know, they eat everything. They're opportunists and go where the food is. You know, it's crazy. What's been perplexing to me is they clearly follow the elk herds a lot, and they have a lot to do with the elk herds because that's going to be the best continuous, consistent food source. I see them like defending the elk herds, and yeah, I've never seen scat with meat in it of any kind. Not feathers from a bird, not hair from a rabbit, not lining of deer hair. I've never seen Sasquatch scat that wasn't tremendously vegetative, tremendously, like where you could pick it up and it didn't have any sort of odor to it, like no meat smell whatsoever. The scat tells me that from the scat samples I've had, which I've only been, I'd say less than 10 that I've seen in my life, have been entirely vegetarian. But the fact that they follow the elk around tells me that can't be the truth. And the fact that they need to survive over the winter, they'd have to have meat. So it tells me they must use the elk, but I've never seen that in the scat. So a bit of a dilemma I'm having there based on results I'm seeing in the field compared to results I'm getting out of the scat, right? So, um, hey, Andrew, thanks for coming to the show. Uh, uh, thanks, but they skin their animals? You think that Sasquatch skin? I've never seen any. I don't know why they would skin them. Maybe they do. I don't know. Have you ever been afraid for my life in the field? Oh yeah, lots, lots. Sasquatch scare me. So I never know which one is gonna be angry because each one's gonna be an individual. I never, you know, I like to be around individuals that are not gonna harm me. And in California, what happened behind there was brutal. Like I was brutalized by the Sasquatch in California, and I don't want to ever go back to that group. I think the big dominant male in that group is very violent, and I think he'll kill me if I go back there. So I'm not going back to that spot in California. Do you believe in the missing persons 411 or Sasquatch related? There's one missing. Sorry if it's cutting out. Again, I got the sickest, fastest internet right now. It's no reason to cut out, so that's not cool. I saw a really good question. Hey Timothy, they bury their dead? Do they? I don't know. Maybe. So no one has found a body yet and put their dead in a spot. You know what Sasquatch will do too, though, is I don't think you're not dealing with a species that have habits and they have things that are. I've seen a lot of behaviors that are similar from California to Oregon to Washington to BC to Alaska. And hey, Claudia, what's up? But they're such individuals and they're so intelligent that they're going to do different things, I would think. And yeah, so really, like people do different things, right? People have different burial techniques, or they burn a body instead of bury it. And I don't think a Sasquatch will ever burn the body because they don't do that stuff. But is there Sasquatch holy men? Hey, Axel. Boy, that's a good question. That's a question. I'm going to bite my tongue a little and go. I think the Sasquatch are the highest. There are Sasquatch, most assuredly, that are the highest level of shaman that have been conducting shaman rituals that even the Native Americans and the First Nations people don't do. I think that's the level that we're talking about here. And I have a lot of reasons to substantiate that. Lindsay asked me, does Jake have a mate? And I say, absolutely not. Jake is the son of his dad. His dad runs that troop of Sasquatch, that group, that tribe of Sasquatch. And that's why I'm very sad. And I think Jake is gone because I think Jake is of age where he's got to go find his own troop and get off on his own. And in my heart, I know Jake is gone, and it really hurts my feelings because I had such a wonderful relationship with him, and I haven't been able to do the research I wanted. I'm not like Diane Fossey and Jane Goodall where it's funded research. I've been out there as much as I can, and that might all change this year with the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center that has been going so well. I've been so successful with it, and I have such good support. When I get back to all you supporters that are helping me, all you amazing people, I'm so excited because it's going to happen. It's happening. Like everybody's coming together. I have to talk to people, and it's one person at a time, and that's going to take time. But $120 donator a month builds up to 1,000, builds up to 2 to 4, and then boom, I'm a full-time Sasquatch researcher, and we can do that. It's going to happen. Just be patient right now. If you want to help out, go to Patreon. Even my website's not functioning right now. That's how everything has just been like smashed with a hammer. And but I hit rock bottom. Believe me, if you don't think I'm going to rise up out of the ashes 10 times stronger, you don't know me. So I've been knocked down before. We've all been knocked down. I've had my ass kicked before. I just rise up twice as strong. For me, a lot of times what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. And this will make me stronger. I promise you. I could feel it already. I'm starting to rise up right now. So especially for what's at stake in my life, I will rise up out of the ashes like a phoenix and succeed and shine, because that's who I am and that's what I do. And that's who my support are. The supporting people that support me and help me. I'm meeting the most incredible, amazing, awesome people I've ever met in my life. And you people know about them. You know about Jeff Meldrum. You know about Survivor Man Les Stroud, the late, great John Benernagel. These people and more are rising up with me. It's incredible. I'm excited about this journey. We are going to succeed. In my lifetime, most assuredly, this species is going to be proven, and we who know they existed, it's not about us. It's just the discovery is so important for our planet. That's why I'm doing it. It'll change the planet. It'll change the way we think about things. It's not just a new species. It's the most incredibly wild, connected species ever. They will change the world. This won't just shake the pillars of anthropology and primatology. It'll smash down things that we thought about science that were not possible. And that's why I'm so passionate about this discovery. So Les Stroud, does he live part-time in Oregon? I don't think so. I don't think so. I haven't been talking to Les much in the last 6 months or so. I love Survivor, man. He's such a busy guy and he's got lots going on, and I'm really happy for him. Uh, yeah, he's just a really busy guy. You know, he's a phone call away from me. I can phone him and talk to him tomorrow, and maybe I'll do that. But I love Les Stroud. Les Stroud is a huge deal. He's the godfather of survival TV. He is absolutely bright and shining. When you meet him, you can just feel him in a room because he's just such a shining beacon, and people love him. And I know why, because he's just amazing and awesome, and just like Jeff Meldrum is. Jeff Meldrum hasn't had a big, huge, tremendously successful TV show. He sure deserves it. Such a great, wonderful man. What a wonderful man. Every day he, every day he lives and breathes, he makes the world a better place. That's how I feel about Jeff Meldrum. So wonderful, wonderful human being. Inspires me to want to raise my son and my daughter in this beautiful world because there are men like that. That's how impressed I am with someone like Jeff Meldrum. He's my hero, and I can't say enough good things about him. Am I a spiritual person? Absolutely. I feel really deeply connected to the earth. I work on my spirituality probably in ways that's different. Hey, Sean of the 80s, love that guy, Sean of the 80s from Instagram. I love the 80s. The 80s were cool. But yeah, I'm deeply spiritually connected to the earth. I feel soulfully when I move, and so many people are asking to help me with my website, and I need to do that. So thank you, Kettle Pitmaster. Kettle Pitmaster, send me an email at northbigfoot@gmail.com, please. Maybe Amanda or Danielle can put that up here through the texting that's going on. Um, Yeah, and Amanda's Surfosaurus. Amanda's like my friend. I just can't say enough great things about her. She's amazing. I can't very well pronounce her. Surfosaurus. She'll have Amanda, next time we talk. We'll probably talk tomorrow or the next day. Let's you can teach me how to properly pronounce your name online. So what a great lady. There he goes. There's Amanda. www.patreon.com/Todd Standing. There you go. That's how you can donate. I'll give you some stuff. Cephisaurus. There you go. Cephisaurus. Ask and you shall received. And Amanda keeps me in tune, man. Amanda puts, one of my favorite people are people that have the balls enough, that have the intestinal fortitude to say, hey, Todd, you're not doing this and you should do this. And this is why you should do it. Like, have the balls enough, you freaking coward chumps, to stand up and tell the truth. And you people know who you are, for goodness sake. That's a friend. That's somebody that I want in my life, is to say, hey, you know what? There's a problem. Let's solve this. Let's work it out. So Amanda, gosh, I've only known her for a few months, and 3 or 4 times she's like, Todd, this is not cool. You said this, you need to do this, and this is why you're going to do it. I mean, Amanda, even just so you know, I mean, she's a fan of mine. She looks up to me. She admires me. When I talk to her on the phone, she's a little starstruck. I hear this, right? And yet she still has the intestinal fortitude to say, Todd, you need to do this. That's who I want in my life. I don't want any more cowards. I don't want any more backstabbing weasels. Talk and talk. Their little droplets of water mean nothing. Actions speak ocean. And Amanda and Danielle and all these other people, they're putting me to task. They know what I go through. And how amazing is that? That's what I want. If you don't have the balls, if you're a coward and you don't have the balls to talk about things, and you don't have, that's what most of these little cockroach, you call them trolls, these little cockroaches that come on here and bark a little bit. If you have a question, pose it. I'll hear it. Who do you think I am? You think I'm afraid of your question? I've been charged by 800-pound grizzly bears and hunted by the most incredible predators that North America has ever seen. Hunted daily. You think I'm afraid of a question? Do you? Because I'm not. In fact, I like a good question. I like a challenging question. You can really help this research move forward by having an excellent skeptical question. If you're just going to say something rude and obnoxious, you hater little cockroach, I'm going to flip the lights on and watch you disappear. But skeptics, welcome here. Very welcome. Don't ever take off one of my skeptics. Even people can start the conversation out. In my opinion, Todd, you're a fraud, and I'll tell you why. And I'll listen to that person and I'll answer their question. If there's something prudent and real about it, if you're not going to say something stupid like, Your sister's a special effects makeup artist because some guy started a rumor 10 years ago, and that's proof you're not doing real work. That's crap. There's no proof. That's a lie. It's not true. But if you have something prudent and intelligent to say, I really want to hear it. Because that's how this discovery will move forward. It's the hard questions are my favorite sometimes. I just got a challenge to go out and talk, do a seminar with someone who's a hardcore skeptic of Sasquatch. I would love to do that. What you know what I'm not afraid of? I'm not afraid of the truth. Bring the truth. I live and die based on the truth. The truth keeps me alive. The truth helps me go to sleep at night with an open heart and feel love and goodness because I know what the real truth is. And I'll always embrace that. Um, Now I've seen the light. We're moving fast and seen the speed of light in a triangle. You tell him, Todd. Thank you, Hawkeye. That's a cool name, Hawkeye. Lindsay Bay. Hey, man, I'm hooked. My wife thinks I'm crazy. So many people think I'm crazy, Joseph. But they thought Einstein was crazy, you know? So, and haters used to be, back in the days, haters killed Gandhi. You know, his haters actually killed him. So, you know, I don't think it's like that anymore. Usually the haters are pretty weak and pathetic. Kid Extreme says Bigfoot exists and scientists need to realize it. I completely agree with you. I don't think, to me, and I really think this is what science represents, is the truth. The science is about the truth. And if you call yourself a scientist and you're not willing to look at the evidence, you're a coward and you're afraid of the truth. And no matter what, the truth is everything. It's everything. It's alpha, omega. It's truth is power. Truth is love. Truth is the future. When you lie, you cheat, you steal, you're a sickness. When you love and you're positive and you build and help, you are the truth. And the truth has got a future and all that other stuff doesn't. Okay. Kid Extreme. I know hill monkeys. Bigfoot exists. Hill monkeys. You got to be respectful of Sasquatch. It's really important that you show respect for Sasquatch. Even the term Bigfoot is very derogatory. And I've been told by many people that the Sasquatch don't like to be named after an appendage. What if you had a big nose and they called you Big a Nose? What if you had big ears and they called you Big Ears or Big Head, right? So the term Sasquatch means wild master of the wilderness. And I love that term. That's my term, is Sasquatch. It's very respectful to the indigenous people. So, oh, there's a good question I just saw. How tall was Sasquatch in video 3? I only think about 7 feet. I think we had him at about 7'4", but big, you know, 3 times my size at 220 is 660, right? So definitely 3 times thicker than me, but only maybe a foot taller. So clock him in at about 650 and 7'4". And, you know, in the sagittal crest probably counts. You could see he had quite a pointy head. Well, not quite, but just a standard Sasquatch looking pointy head. And so, you know, if you put a pointy head on me, I'd probably be 6'8", right? So take 6'4" at the top of the head, take 3 or 4 inches off. It's only 7'1". Sorry. All this coughing. I'm really sorry. I hope I'm not coughing. I'm probably coughing on the mic. Okay, why is... Oh, we're going to do that one. From Blake. Why is it you still dob work with Les Stroud after he knowingly hoaxed having Bigfoot in his freezer and went mainstream with his false body? What? Why is it you still dog with Les Stroud? Les Stroud didn't know anything about a body in a freezer. Your information, Blake, is completely incorrect. Les Stroud did nothing with the fake body in the freezer. Wasn't that Tom Biscardi or something? So that's, no, Les Stroud. Les Stroud has done 10 years plus, over a decade of honest, good TV, where if it doesn't happen in his episode, he doesn't air it. Not too many people can say that with this new day of reality TV and the lies like Bear Grylls puts out. So Les Stroud that's completely a false statement. What happens after you took the photo of the black Sasquatch behind the log? Look at this, I'm coughing. And thank you. A very amazing person gives me a beverage. What happened after I sorry, not shot, that's a very good question. That's probably Outdoor Lover. You and your questions that are so awesome. Here, I'll tell you real quick. The cameras weren't working anymore. No batteries left. Cameras are done. I've been out there trying to film these guys for a while. I got some good footage. I basically put my cameras down, put a little plastic, put my backpack or something over, left the cameras, went up that hill, and got my ass whooped by a bunch of Sasquatch. You want to know more about that? It's a big long thing. I explained it to my expeditioners, but I went up that hill. I remember Jeff asked me that too, Jeff Meldrum. So what happened? What'd you do after you filmed that? I put my cameras down and I went up that hill because the wild bunch in Radium, those Sasquatch do not back away, and they did not back away from me. They own it out there. They're the boss in Nordegg, in Montana, and in Washington, the other places I've been, different spots in British Columbia. The Sasquatch generally back away, run away, move off. The Patterson footage, that female is moving away. She backs away from the people. In Radium, I call those boys the Wild Bunch because they don't dumb back away, sir. They stand their ground. That's why my Bigfoot Research Center will be in Radium, because they don't back away. I've never seen them back away. They own it out there. They're in a special area, and they are raised and taught by an incredible dominant male who is very not ostentatious. He just stands his ground. He's fearless. He's prideful, and he teaches that to his troop, and they stand their ground. So I went up there and I got my ass whooped. So I got my ass whooped, and it was amazing. It was awesome, and yeah, I tell the expeditioners about it at length, and it's a big, long thing that I'll explain in the book. But yeah, I went up there and got my butt whooped, and maybe that's why I do so well even now after that, is because maybe they were what's that word? Sort of putting me in the hierarchy of the troop. I have my spiritual animal. The Sasquatch gave me my spiritual animal. People talk about spiritual animals. I did the real, legit spiritual animal ritual where you get a spiritual animal or you die. That's the ritual. You go on a cliff and you go and you want your spiritual animal. Either you get your spiritual animal or you're not worthy of the wilderness and you get rolled off the cliff and you die. I did that ritual. And I have my spiritual animal, and the Sasquatch know this. When I go out with deeply spiritual people, you ask about spirituality, they recognize it. They know who my spiritual animal is. And I've earned it. It's in my heart. It's in my soul. And I think maybe the Sasquatch were initiating me into their troop. That's how you initiate somebody in a troop. The big guy beats you up, the medium size beats you up, and then the little guy beats you up. And that's what happened to me when I went up that hill. And it was hard and it hurt. But I was put at the bottom. And maybe then, at that moment, and maybe since then, I get such great success because I'm maybe an honorary member of their troop. I don't know. It's so hard because for the Sasquatch, months are nothing, and I can only go out there a week at a time. That's nothing to them. And even I'll go out for a week, take a week off, go out for a week, take a week off, go out for a week, take a week off, and then I'm done for the year. That's pathetic. They live out there, they breathe out there. It's their whole life. Real researchers in Africa spend years out there, working and moving towards the success. So, it needs a lot more, and nobody's doing, including me. I'm not spending enough time out there. Do I believe Bluff Creek there was a massacre at Bluff Creek? It's a belief. I really like the facts, and I don't know about that. So I'd hate to think so. It hurts my heart to think that we could go to war and fight with Sasquatch and that sort of stuff. Is it stereotypical? In the stereotypical way, you look like the guy who would search for a Bigfoot Yeti. In a cool way, lol. All you need is to live in Alaska, but it's cool enough. Alaska, I'm cooperating with a lady who has Sasquatch in Alaska, and I believe she's legit and doing cool things, and I'm very excited to keep working with her. But man, the bears are so big in Alaska. Woo! Those coastal grizzly bears, they're coastal brown bears. Man, they're big, like so big, and I know my bears really well. It's just, man, they're big up there. Things are big in Alaska, rare, but enormous. The moose are gigantic up there. I'm really happy in my home. I'm really happy with the bears that I know. And there's bigger bears in more abundance up there because you have the coast where there's so much salmon. The grizzly bears and the black bears that I deal with, there's no salmon runs, and they're a lot smaller, and I just understand their behavior really well. The Sasquatch will be different up there too. So yeah, I'm not, and for me, you gotta be laser to get results. If you're not laser focused, if you're just like a light and you're hitting a spot, you're not gonna You're not going to make a mark. You have to be laser focused. If you can understand that, I hope. And working in with one troop of Sasquatch, it's taken me over a decade to have good success in radium. And even now, 3, 4 years in Nordeg, I've had really good success. It's just you put me in a new spot. It's ground zero. You got to start all over. You got to learn their trust. And I'm not 20 years old anymore, and this research is hard. That's what expeditioners will tell you. When they come back, first thing they'll say to you is expeditions are really, really hard. It's stressful living out there, seeing the animals that exist out there, and even being around a sorry, not a little hiccup, but anyhow, yeah, it's hard. So we got some footage of a Sasquatch, but no one believes us. The Jamin Show, listen to me very carefully, the Jamin Show. If you have Sasquatch footage, please send me an email. Listen very carefully, northbigfoot@gmail.com, the Jamin Show. Send me that footage. I will have a look at it, and I'll be honest with you. And yeah, I love new stuff. Even a lot to me, what matters is I don't just want your footage. I want to know what happened. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear you talk. I want to listen to your nuances. I want to feel your energy over the phone. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? And my heart will tell me something, and my mind will tell me something, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle. So I'd love to see your footage of the Jamin Show, or you can send it. Just send it to northbigfoot@gmail.com right now. NORTH Bigfoot@gmail.com. Please send it there, or just send me an email there, and I'll have a look at it. I'm not sick, Brian Woodland. Who's Jake? Man Dude 34? Did you not see my didn't I call him Jake in my documentary? I call him Jake is the best Sasquatch, I think my best Sasquatch footage. Just a big, awesome looking male. Yeah. Video 5. My video 5 footage. Do Sasquatch like candy bars? Seen a thermal image movie and also a day footage where they are candy bars. Is that good bait? No, don't do it. First of all, make sure you're not sick when you put not bait out, when you give them a gift. Don't bait them. Don't play cat and mouse with them, because you're the mouse. Give them something healthy and nutritious. Candy bars are poisonous. Poison. They're not good for you. Don't eat that crap. Don't drink Coke. Don't drink pop. I lost respect when I saw a celebrity I used to admire do a Pepsi commercial. Gee, really? Now little children are watching you talk about Pepsi? I hope they paid you a good check, and I have no respect for that celebrity anymore. That crap is poison. You better be giving the Sasquatch good, healthy, nourishing gifts. When I put an apple out for a Sasquatch, it's an excellent, super healthy, wonderful apple that I put out, and I imagine it nourishing their special bodies, like nourishing them, providing them with calories and food. I put love, and I tell it to my expeditioners, put some love in your heart. Use your left hand where your heart love can come from, and put that apple out there and put some love into it. Put some good energy on it. You can't do that with a piece of poison. Don't give them sugar like that. They live in a wholesome, wonderful environment. They don't know about sugar. I can imagine a Sasquatch biting it and going, bah! What is that? Like concentrated, nasty sugar. So you ever had berries in the wilderness? You ever had, like, there's no sweets out there. Berries are sour, and people, they put sugar on them. That's what most people do, right? Is that crazy? Don't put sugar on a berry, but people do that. It's like civilized people are just freaking insane with the stuff they do. The amount of sugar we eat is disgusting. Please eat less sugar. Diabetes is rampant. Wow. Don't give them a chocolate bar. Don't give them a candy bar. Don't give them a freaking donut. I don't even, people tell me, I gave them some donuts. I'm like, so you're evil? Maybe that's a bad thing to say. I apologize. Why would you give them donuts? It's poison. I don't want my family eating donuts, and maybe we do once in a while, but we have a good nourishing meal, or we have our little cheats once in a while, but we're people. Sasquatch are pure. Sasquatch are pure and beautiful wilderness creatures. You don't give a bear, you don't give a wolf. If you love wolves, you don't give them chocolate bars and crap. Don't do that. Please treat them with respect and admiration. Give them good, wholesome, good organic food. I always loved apples. I know apples are pretty sweet, but yeah, apples are just my favorite. They're also quite indigenous to North America. So that's another reason I don't want to give them bananas, or even bananas. Banana peels, a deer will eat a banana peel. And if you ever throw a banana peel on the fire, those things do not break down. banana peels are really super tough. They're not indigenous to this continent. And when a deer will eat a banana peel, it'll damage it, you know? So you should really know these things. Like, you know, banana peels you throw on the ground, you think, oh, it's organic. No, it's not. It is organic, but it is plant life, but it damages the species. So be careful what you throw on the ground for animals to eat. You'll damage them. So outdoor lover, I already like this dude, outdoor lover. Hey, Todd, what happened after you took the photo of the black Sasquatch behind the log? We did that one already. Did I just backtrack a lot? Do Bigfoot take drugs like peyote, like the natives? I don't know. That's not a bad question. You know, wild mushrooms, do they take that stuff? That's a messing with Sasquatch video, right? Let's be funny. Imagine a Sasquatch in you know, on an island like Newfoundland where there's apparently wild mushrooms growing and they're just like, "Whoa, dude, I'm tripping out," right? Peyote, oh my goodness. Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with the Sasquatch on peyote. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. That's pretty funny though. Uh, and I have no knowledge of this whatsoever. None. Deer will ear junca when they're hungry during the winter. Deer will ear junca. I don't know what that means. Any research in PA? Not to my knowledge. You know, I'm going to get ambitious at one point. I'm going to get really ambitious when I can start doing this full time and get more people helping me. Can you imagine the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center in Pennsylvania, in Oregon, in Washington State? Just horrifically cooperative, horrifically out there doing things. Uh, Utah Sasquatch is this really cool dude. I always liked him, and he's kind of disappeared. And even him, like I'm trying to get a hold of him and say, dude, like you don't have to be public. It's not fun to be public. It's not fun. I'm a very private person and I enjoy my fans. I'm very grateful. If you ever see me, come talk to me. I love that stuff. You know, I'm always cool with that. But I'm a very private guy. A lot of people that are wildernessy are very private people. If you want to do this under the radar, but you want to do this, come under my wings. I'll take everything on the chin. You can go out, gather evidence. I'm tremendously ambitious about moving forward with this discovery. And I'm seeing now that I can get people underneath me to help. I become powerful in a cooperation, very powerful. So, um, I want to build that cooperation. That's why I have all these great people, and it takes time and a lot of effort. I just need to do it, but I'm very ambitious to do that. I see the power of cooperation, people, and you want to help, you want to get on board. Wow. Um, I could really use that. Derek Reynolds, what's this? Give me 45. I don't know. Why do you give them apples at all? They will not have access to another one in Nordegg or radium unless you give them one. You're right. But you know what? You know what the natives like? When I go talk to a native shaman, I give him a gift. It's respect. It's tradition and respect. And when I go into Sasquatch habitat, that's their home, and I give them that gift out of respect. Does that make sense? And it's a cultural thing that the Native Americans and the First Nations people in Canada and the United States do. So it's for respect. And Native people that watch me do that, they always say, "Oh, you gave them a gift." It is a gift just for what they're going to teach me. They're teachers. You give your teacher a gift. Why do you give an apple to your teacher at school? That used to be a big tradition. And that's why I do it. They're my teachers, and I want to give them a gift, and I want to show them respect. Uh, and that's the best thing I can think of right now. So I don't put any kind of salmon or fish out because that's like super bear danger. And the apples are working really well. They're not like apples don't stink up the whole area like a fish would. Otherwise, I was thinking about going and catching a fish in the river and give them that gift, but it'd be too dangerous for the bears, so I don't do that. Apples are just a good staple that have worked really well. As far as I can see, I've never had a bear take an apple of mine, which is a bold statement. Crazy when you know the amount of bears that are out in my research areas, but they're just not around. And I think the bears even can smell there's Sasquatch in the area and just don't want to come around for that. So it's a good point, though. I drink Pepsi. Sorry, Kid Extreme. No disrespect. I just don't, you know, and I don't drink it, so I don't expect my son to drink it, and I don't want my friends to drink it. So, um, let's see. It's got some questions here. Thomas Green. Oops, creepy. I hope you're all okay with that. At what age did they become fertile? I don't know. I just, if you want to figure that stuff out, just it's going to be so close to humans, so close to gorillas and chimpanzees. All of us primates, gorillas, chimpanzees, and human beings especially, we have a tremendous amount of similarities, and That's, you could just deduce that information from that. That's all I do, is I just deduce it from known biology. Do you think the Sasquatch occupied hot springs before humans took them over? Hmm. That's from B Ash. I know what he's talking about. There's an area where I buy radium. Radium hot springs is famous. That's really close to where I do my research. I don't think so, because it's been a hot spot for humans a long time. Like the natives were there a lot, and I'll tell you, uh, yeah, I'll tell you, there's a lot of they just like, there's a lot of hot springs. I tell people, if you really want to go on a hot springs expedition, let's take 3 days and hike out to a hot springs, where the hot springs that I know of, this is how cool they are. So there's a stream, right? And you get in the stream, and as you move towards the hotter spot, it gets warmer and warmer and warmer. So you can have it like 40 degrees, 50, 67. The closer you get to the source of the heat, the warmer the water gets, right? And that's a natural hot springs, and I totally love that. Thanks, Thomas, for your appreciation. I appreciate your appreciation. Is that weird? I really do, though. So yeah. Anyway, that's natural. The Sasquatch know where their hot springs. The Sasquatch have hot spring connections like you can't even imagine in the most remote areas, and that's what they love. They love the remoteness. They love to be in the harshest environments and go where nothing is. So, Jonathan, are you kidding me? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a not retired, but former U.S. Army Ranger that has been on expedition with me. Tough dude. I'll tell you something. Man, some people show their mettle and test it. And Jonathan Witten, my goodness. He's invited me to come to Georgia. Another one of these people that I've taken on an expedition and just become like brothers. Like Jonathan Witten is, and Cody that was on the expedition, and Scout that was on the expedition, and other expeditioners. So many of these people that have been out there and bled with me. People, you talk to Jonathan and you ask him, and he'll tell you. Like Jonathan had his incredible army knife that he dropped. I mean, he's a former U.S. Army Ranger, and he dropped his knife and he looked at me and said, "Todd, can you really track? Can you really track? Because that's my knife, dude. That's, that has sentimental value. You can't just leave that out in the wilderness." And guess what Todd Standing did? Todd Standing backtracked and found his knife. And Jonathan will tell you, I'm following his trackway backwards. Let's be really honest here. So I'm following his trackway, and Jonathan's like, "I wasn't even over there." And 5 minutes later, 5 minutes later, my brother, who's behind me, Cody, picks up the knife. I was following Jonathan's trackway, but Cody was also watching the ground, and I would have went right over his knife. My other brother that was out there, Cody, saw the knife, so as a cooperation, we found it. But can I track, Jonathan? Can I track? And Jonathan, what an incredible student. He was out there taking pictures of what I was teaching him. It's wonderful. What a warm feeling it is in your heart when someone like Jonathan comes out there and gets it. Jonathan left there knowing what an elk track is, knowing what a deer track is, knowing how they move, knowing what to expect from bears. He took all this stuff, he took photographs, he saw me substantiate the tracks with what was happening in real life, and he became an excellent student. He made the best of his time, and he helped enrich my life in ways. He helped me love nature again. I remember hiking out with these guys. I'm pretty sure it was on Jonathan's expedition. And I was teaching them to track, real tracking, not just the footprints. I keep saying that. And one of them learned to identify strawberry bushes and the leaves of the strawberry bush. And I think it was Scout that was on that expedition said, "Todd, I see strawberry bushes all over the place. And these strawberries are so tiny. They're little itty bitty strawberries, but they just pack a punch because they're so wild. And they are powerful tasting." And I remember looking at them, and they all look at each other and they go, "Todd, can we stay here and eat strawberries for a while?" I'm like, "Well, we got to go on our expedition. We got to go out there and do Sasquatch things." And I go, "What do you guys think?" And Jonathan and Cody and Scout look at each other and go, "We want to pick strawberries." But that's what'll make the expedition successful, right? Because the Sasquatch will see you loving nature, and they'll want to be more interested in you. They'll want to teach you more stuff. And Jonathan gets that. Jonathan was out there bleeding with me. Jonathan was there when a Sasquatch smashed over a tree. Jonathan saw the reality of what we do and how it really works. Don't take my word for it. Come out with me, and I will show you a Sasquatch. And Jonathan Witten was brave enough to go out there and do it. What an honor it is and a privilege to know that man. So thank you so much, Jonathan. I'm going to say it. I love you, Jonathan. He's been supporting me through my tough time, and he's gone through the same thing that I'm going through right now. And I expect Jonathan Witten to be my friend for the rest of my life. Brother, next time you get married, I want to be at your wedding. I can't say enough good things about the guy. See these people in my life? I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I'm immensely grateful. Jonathan Witten, want to know a useless fact? Okay, let's see this. Horses originated from America. They moved on, died out, then settlers brought them back. Okay, not a useless fact, but interesting information. Yeah, there's Amanda asking you. Hey, Jonathan, uh, gosh, I think Jonathan, you alleged to me that you had a nice write-up about our stuff. I'd love to hear that. I got Andy, who was on a different expedition than you, but on the same year. Andy gave me a write up and just sent it to me. His expedition was like 2 years ago, same year as yours, Jonathan. He was like the expedition after you. Andy was there when I found another smashed over tree that had Sasquatch tracks by it that substantiated your encounter with a Sasquatch smashing over a tree. Anyway, Andy sent me this wonderful write up. Amanda, I hope you've seen it. I'd love to put Andy on just do a show with Andy, even with you expeditioners, because even hearing the perspective of Jonathan, Sasquatch smashed over a tree, like crash, bash, bang. And we discovered later it sincerely was a Sasquatch. On the next expedition, we substantiated that. But that wasn't what impressed him the most. The man was within 60 yards of a Sasquatch, and that's not what impressed him the most. And you want to ask him what impressed him the most? Ask him. He'll tell you, because he had another incredible experience that was amazing, and I respect that. Yan Byron says, much respect to you, man, from the other side of the country in Quebec. How old was Jake when you got him on film? I think I have that information somewhere. I think he was pretty young, though. I think he was about, so let's just do the math here. I think he's maybe 22 now, so maybe 16, 17 is what I had him guessed at. He's big, too. Like, he's a big boy. To say he wasn't even, I don't know how much bigger he could get, just such a beast, right? Todd, how do you think you could bring the younger generation? Most people who like this are older. You're right. I'm 19 and hardly ever find people my age. Oh, dude, you're so right. I don't know. Like, your generation is so addicted to video games and watch TV, and they're so into technology. It's getting hard, isn't it, Michael? It really is. And it really is. People it's hard for me to find 30-year-olds, really, well, 20-year-olds is like, forget about it. So, but there's a way. And again, once I start building this cooperation and go online, look for wherever you live. If you're in Oregon, look for Oregon Sasquatch, and don't be discriminating against age. You can go hang out with a 30-year-old. You can go hang out. I'll take you on an expedition sometimes. Don't be, yeah. And hell, most 20-year-olds can't even keep up with me. I'm in freaking tremendous shape. Ask Jonathan Witten. That dude's tough as nails, and he'll tell you. And like that punk Cody that was out with us is tough as nails, and he's not young. So us old guys can be tough. Survivor Man was 50 when I took him on an expedition. He's freaking tough. Like, Survivor Man is so tough, tougher than Nails. Forget Nails. That dude is super tough. And he was 50 when I took him on it. 50 years old. I was there. My wife made him a chocolate cheesecake for his birthday at 50. And he was out on expedition, 50 years old. I'm not 50 yet. And he's tough. So, yeah, don't discriminate age-wise. Hell, I'm younger than most 19, 20-year-olds. I go by Toys R Us and get so stoked. We still have Toys R Us in Canada. I want to know what impressed him, Arthur. It's more to come. There's so much more stuff. And it's, oops, what's going on here? I need to talk to Jonathan about it, because it's Jonathan and Scout and Cody's expedition. And if I start talking publicly about their expedition, I want them to do it, because it's their expedition. They paid for it. It's their expedition. If they would have filmed the Sasquatch, it'd be their property. Those people that have the honor and integrity and belief in me to take me up on my challenge and come out on expeditions. And it hasn't been cheap. It's expensive. It's a lot of money to do expeditions. I hate that it's so much money, but if you're going to go out and hunt an elk, they charge you, $10,000. And if you're going to do a bear hunt, it could be 20, 50,000 for bighorn sheep. And I'm taking you out to see the rarest beings on earth. And it's a lot of taxing on my family. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice. It's hard. And there's no money in it either. So it's just enough to get by. Les Stroud is 57, so we had to be about 55. Nope. I was around, well, you know what? You might be right. He was over 50 for sure. I met him around his 50th birthday for the first time. When I met him, I came out with Sasquatch scat. I talked about this before, where we're in this super fancy restaurant in Jasper, like the Jasper Fairmount. And I walk into this fancy restaurant and I have Sasquatch crap. Looking like, I just came out of the bush tracking Sasquatch. I had Sasquatch scat and I showed it to, sorry about the delay. But as I was saying, I walk into this fancy restaurant to meet the great Survivor Man, and I've got, I can't even imagine how I looked, I'm so funny. Hey, Survivor Man, here's some Sasquatch scat. And I remember him looking at it too. He was so impressed. He's very skeptical. Wow, a bear. He's like, oh, it's bigger than a bear. And what's in this, And yeah, it was very convincing to Survivor Man. And I'm certain it was Sasquatch scat. But it's just so funny. I walk into this fancy restaurant, with all these waiters and cummerbunds and little bow ties, and I have Sasquatch cat. Sorry, that is hilarious. Though I'm so funny. I love to laugh. Humor is so important. Have you heard of the channel Crypto Reality? No, but channels are very interesting to me. I'd love to have a show. Les Stroud's 6th birthday was when Patterson was singing. Oh, thank you, Allison. On his 6th birthday. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's cool. Give the man a thumbs up for honesty. Thank you very much. Oh, there's lots of stuff going on here. Has the government ever tried to silence your evidence? Blaze and Silver, has the government? There's lots of weird stuff going on. Lots of really weird stuff. And I don't really want to talk about it. Yeah, there's stuff going on. Is my phone tapped? I don't know. And my internet being sucked with data? Yeah, I think so. And there's some weird stuff going on, but I'm just going to keep moving forward. I don't care. I've ever worked with Jonathan Waters. I'd never heard that name before, but thank you for asking, Arthur. How do their footprints disappear out of nowhere? Was because they're smart. They'll, Frank, I've seen them, just as an example, I've seen them. I saw a Sasquatch running. I was following his tracks. Suddenly started walking, and then the tracks right in the middle of an open area stopped dead because he walked backwards into them. You're dealing with incredibly intelligent beings. I mean, there was one Sasquatch trackway. I remember I was in Morley on a reserve, and the Sasquatch had come around. The natives there had called me, and I went out and I put on my backpack, and I was tracking that Sasquatch to the ends of the earth. I had 7 days worth of supplies. I was in top physical condition, and the snow was on the ground, and I was following those Sasquatch tracks to the end of the earth until I found them. That was going to happen. And you know what they did? They simply walked into an area that was really windy, and there was constant open wind, and their tracks just blew away. That's how smart they are. They know where to go. They know how to move. I did a big circle around. I couldn't find nothing. You are dealing with a being that is so above me in levels. I mean, if I'm a really great tracker and I'm here, and there's excellent native trackers that have abilities above me, they'll tell you the Sasquatch are here. It's like trying to outsmart a PhD in his own, you know what I mean? It's like being a kindergarten student and you're going to go take on a PhD in mathematics and you're going to have a math competition against him. You are going to get your ass handed to you. No doubt. You are taking on the best that has ever been, the best that ever will be. They're born and raised in the wilderness and they've been taught to survive in the. I'm glad it resumes so well. But anyways, that's just how much respect I have for these beings, and people that go out with me can see it. And, have you considered the Freedom of Information Act? I don't know. No. Yeah, I don't know. So I think, when I go into a spot like with tracks, Jeff Meldrum's done such an incredible job. He's a brilliant, amazing man. He's covered tracks. If I have tracks, I just give it to him. Let the man be an expert at what he is. My field is boots on the ground. My field is wilderness, and it's a big scope of practice. So that's where I like to go excel. So if you want to go look into Freedom of Information, doesn't David Pilates do that? He looks like he's doing a great job. He doesn't need my help. He's doing a great job all by himself. So keep it up. I'm boots on the ground. That's who I am. So Danny Salbeck, thank you for supporting Todd's work. Oh, Danny. Yeah, thank you, Danny. If Danielle says thank you, then I say thank you as well. Can they elude bloodhounds? No problem. Are you kidding me? They'll outrun a bloodhound. So yeah, bloodhounds is a joke. No problem. You really got to understand the level of amazement you're dealing with here. I think a bloodhound's going to get infrasound ass kicked. You know what I mean? And if you corner a troop of Sasquatch, you are going to die. And who's ever gone out with bloodhounds looking for a Sasquatch. I've never heard of that. I've had these bloodhound guys that act all arrogant and omnipotent, think, oh, I can hunt down and track anything. No, you can't. You don't know what you're talking about. The Sasquatch will go into the most remote, crazy, back-ass place. Do you have to follow the bloodhounds, sir? Yes, you do. I promise you, you are never, ever going to hold a candle to the endurance and the athletic ability of a Sasquatch. No horse is going to follow them, that's for damn sure. And if you're going on foot, your bloodhounds might not be able to keep up. No man is going to follow them, and no horse is going to go into the terrains I've seen them go into. Where I'm from in the Rocky Mountains, there is no hope for that whatsoever. And if you go and you hunt them down and they go home, they're going to turn around and defend themselves. You are going to die. I don't care how tough you think you are. You're dealing with beings. These guys will throw boulders 200 yards at accuracy that doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Nothing can throw a boulder that accurately over 200 yards, and yet they do it time and time again. And you could be wearing body armor. That thing, you could have a helmet on and full body armor. A 20-pound boulder will take your head right off with the helmet. Never mind the incredible, amazing they'll pick you up and throw you 200 yards like you're a little chump nothing. Crush you in ways you can't even imagine. You're dealing with a being that's twice as powerful as a gorilla that moves into cooperation, and gorillas are not hunters. These boys are hunters and intelligent and athletic. Do not take them on, because you will lose. I'm sorry, but this is what I know. And they will see you coming, and they will know where to go and how to move. Good luck taking these guys on. I mean, maybe on a scope of some ridiculous level of Apache helicopters and an army, sure, but why go there? That would be awful. Why go to war with these incredible beings that I love and admire and respect so much? So I would fight for them against you if you went to war with them. They did nothing to deserve that. They have something to teach us, and if we just be smart enough to shut up and listen once in a while and respect and admire this incredible knowledge that they have, we'd learn something from these incredible teachers. So put your guns down and open up your hearts. Move forward. Looked like it was a good question there. Started with ever done. I don't see what it is. Anyways, Todd, Jack with the M name has asked, what do you say to people that say they have no real proof other than videos that can be reproduced? Well, I take people out and show them Sasquatch, Jack. I have DNA, Jack. Do you understand that geneticists are bloody cowards? Like, I had my DNA done, and 66% of it came back as likely some side of on the human, and 33% came back as unknown. And then I wanted to move forward with one of these coward geneticists like Todd, who was all talking about testing my DNA and testing, and then finally he decided to chicken out. These geneticists are cowards. I've given my genetic material to a university, and they tested it, and then they gave me I paid for it. They gave me my money back and wouldn't talk to me, because the cowards wouldn't admit Sasquatch are real. To them, it's like admitting that the Easter Bunny is real. They think there's a higher probability that I'm some genius cooking up DNA in my crock pot to fool them, that there's a man-like primate out there, because they can't open up their mind and they call themselves scientists. So, and everything I do is reproducible. I take people, do you understand, Jack? I take people out on an expedition and show them Sasquatch. I mean, this year I had a 33% of people 30% of people I took out saw a Sasquatch. Like, oh my God, there's a Sasquatch, right? So I'll take you out and show you a Sasquatch. So, and the signs of them, tree breaks can't be duplicated. The tree structures in these remote areas, it's just, there's too much evidence. There's too much information. The dermal ridges in the track, the footprints are enormous evidence. Come on, Jack. Those footprints are, all of them have a mid-tarsal joint, back from the Patterson footage to the latest. They all move the same way. They'll move in a straight line. The anatomy of their legs, the way they step. The evidence is tremendous, Jack. So, like, I could go for hours. It's crazy. So videos are not going to be enough evidence, but what else do you want me to do, Jack? And I think there will be a video that really shocks the world again. Something that just blows people away. I've done it, and I've done it where I had a video, and the reason I got a video is the Sasquatch were trying to tell me that, just in short, I'm just trying to tell you quick, the Sasquatch came out and showed themselves to me because a bear was hunting me and going to kill me, and they showed themselves, and I got that footage. But then when the bear attacked me, I was in a river, and I spun around and dropped my camera. But I got the sickest piece of, if I had that Sasquatch footage, if I hadn't been attacked by that bear, and dropped the camera in the water, in the river, and ruined all that footage. That was going to be the greatest piece of Sasquatch footage of all time. I wouldn't be here talking to you about this because that footage was so good that no one would ever doubt it. And I did it once, and I intend to do it again. So did Les think it was shitty first impression? Um, Les Stroud after the first episodes was very convinced I was totally legitimate, and he still is. People can chastise and mock and stuff. Les doesn't know about my footage. Les thinks my footage is 50-50. That's good enough for me. That's really good. He's got a just because I'm doing stuff real now doesn't mean I fake stuff in the past. You could argue, right? But Les knows that what he experienced out there in the episodes of Survivor Man, he says no man did that. No man was out there. No animal could have done that. Big, heavy, giant tracks on the ground. Big, heavy primates moving around at night. It's Sasquatch, and Survivor Man damn well knows it. And now, to be politically correct, and I admire his political correctness, he says something's out there and we need to figure out what it is. And the answer is, it's Sasquatch. But he's very PC, very intelligent man, and I learned so much from him, and I look forward to continue to learn from things. Jack Muscles, spam your question, asked it, type as, and repeat the process. Sorry, I don't know what that means. When they are aggressive, do you think you are close to their home base? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, they're going to be way more aggressive around their home base. So I'm just going to do a few more questions. You guys are amazing. Totally amazing. Do I believe in dogmen? No. I have, it's not that I don't believe in them. I just have no evidence of dogmen. I've never seen anything like that. So there's stuff out there in the wilderness. I've seen tracks from what might be little people. And I've had natives tell me about little people. So I don't know. And believe is such a strange term. It's so loosely, is there possible for dogmen? Sure. Who am I to sit here and say Sasquatch are real and there is no dogmen? I don't know. But I just have no knowledge of that. I have some knowledge of the little people. I saw these little tracks that looked like a little kid way the hell out there middle of nowhere. Why was some little, like I'm talking like a 1-year-old, I don't think that 1-year-old should have been able to walk, follow me around like 30 kilometers from the nearest any kind of civilization, and it was following me. What the hell was that doing out there? And I've heard natives tell me about little people. I don't think that was a Sasquatch. So do I believe in them? There's potential for it. I'm not a supporter of little people. It's hard enough to do Sasquatch people. People ask me about Loch Ness. I don't know. I don't do Loch Ness. I don't study Loch Ness. I study this. You don't ask Diane Fossey about orangutans. You don't ask Jane Goodall about elephants. You know what I mean? It's a different subject. So they're not experts on it. And I don't know. I would never consider myself an expert on this. But I study and I research Sasquatch, and that's it. So, hi, Todd. Please say hi to me. I feel very sick today and I need some attention. Hi, Velocity 800. I said hi to your fictitious name. Someone 215, Todd, said on a previous show he hasn't seen any good evidence for them. Well, what about Jimmy Chilcott is incredible evidence. Jeff Meldrum has incredible evidence. Jimmy Chilcott was on a show that I think it's called Sasquatch Meets Science, a fingerprint expert. So look at the dermal ridges and, mind-blowing. There's been DNA out there, lots. The DNA sort of hides and swivels around and does weird things. And genetic testing is very expensive right now for real full genome analysis. But I don't know. The Patterson footage is incredible evidence to me. And the eyewitness testimony, there's so many people that have seen them. So, and I'm sorry you're not convinced. So, I'm not going to be able to convince anybody. Maybe I don't have enough evidence. Maybe I'm in my infancy and I need to go a long ways. I agree. I'd like to do more. I'm not happy with the amount of time I've spent over 1,000 days sleeping boots on the ground backcountry. And, I'm not happy with that. I want to do more. And that's why I'm here. I'm talking to you guys and, getting support and thanking you for your support. So, Patreon is awesome. And I'll have my website back up and running again soon. And, that's why I'm here is I agree. There needs to be more. But believe me, I was going into a court of law to prove they were existing. If I would have got to trial, I'd have won way beyond a reasonable doubt. You just have to systematically sit down and look at the stuff that I have and listen to what's going on. John Rambo said it best when it fits in with Sasquatch would say, if he could, out there you're the law, out here it's me. Don't push it. Don't push it, or I'll give you a war you won't believe. That's right. Oh, that's good. Sean in the 80s, he would know about Rambo. And yeah, I agree. Don't push it. They'll give you a war you won't believe. Just let it go. Let it go. I could have killed them all. Could have killed you. That's from Rambo, right? First Blood. That was filmed in British Columbia, uh, you know, where the province I do some of my research in. So they could have you anytime they want to, and you wouldn't even know it. I totally agree. If a Sasquatch latched onto me and didn't and wanted me gone, no one would ever find a speck of evidence for me ever again. Thank you, bald, blind, and bearded from Calgary. I love Calgary. Just a few more questions here. We'll do 90 minutes. We're at 20 right now, or an hour and 20. Uh, I don't have a life, and I'm always on live streams. Okay. Thank you for that, Michael. If you want to help out, northbigfoot@gmail.com. When I can get to it, I'm just so sorry because I got so much craziness going on right now. What do you say to people who say that you have no real proof other than videos that can be reproduced? Well, I take people out and show them Sasquatch. You know, I don't know if there's a lot of people doing that, but if you don't take my word for it, come out with me and I'll show you a Sasquatch. I do have like the structures are impressive. The tree breaks are very impressive. Um, I don't know. Even I have DNA. I've gathered DNA. Tell me who's going to. I had friends. John Bennernagel was a PhD, and I had DNA, and nobody would test it. Nobody would take his. I couldn't give him DNA to have other PhDs test it. And the doucher little geneticist that would do a full genome on it, they'd just give me my money back or ignore me after because they didn't have the balls to admit that I had real DNA. So what else can I do but gather physical evidence like hair and scat, and you tell me what else I can do. And can these videos be reproduced? And is there anybody else out there saying don't take my word for it? Gosh, I'm over 20 people I've taken out on expedition, so I'm boots on the ground. So I can't shoot one. That's not ever going to happen. If I even pointed a gun at one, I would die. If I went out there with the intent, people who really understand things better, if I went out there with the intent to shoot one, I'd never see one again. And if you understand energy, if you understand the reality of what I'm really doing, then you can understand if your intent is evil like that, it'll show in every step you take and you will fail. So anybody who goes out to do that is dead meat. Ancestry DNA tested my percentage a lot. Well, ancestry DNA is different though. It's human DNA and stuff. And I know DNA is changing every year. Maybe there is a geneticist out there that can do this. It's just something that takes a lot of time. I was working on the court case. Now I'm working on building my cooperation and building the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center, and just got my ass handed to me. And I don't even have a website. So I'm busting my butt, guys, and it'll come along. Todd, is there any way infrared cameras and drones could generate some good footage? No. I think I have infrared footage, and or is it infrared? Yeah, it's the heat signature footage, and whatever, people didn't even blink at it, and so it's not even talked about very much. So do you believe the stories of military hunting and killing them? I don't know. I hope not. I don't want to be too ashamed of my own species. Maybe. I don't know. So Todd, please watch the documentary Everything You Know Is Wrong, Lloyd Pyle. I know a little bit about Lloyd Pyle. It's very interesting stuff, and there's other stuff that's substantiating Lloyd Pyle's claims right now. It's very interesting, but I don't know. It's not my real field of expert, to be honest. Whoa, what's going on? There are a lot of people pointing at the shadows and saying it's Sasquatch. So annoying. Yeah, it is, but it's life. Yeah, and there's fake stuff going on, and I don't know. It's just part of what we're involved in. It's just the way it's going to be. What do you think of these people that are going to recreate the woolly mammoth with DNA? No opinion on that. We'll see what happens. Yeah, what do I think of zoos? Are zoos bad? I go to the zoo. I take my son to the zoo. My son lost his mind when he saw his hero animal, Komodo dragon. Just was so excited about it. So, do I think it's wrong to have a Komodo dragon in the zoo? No, no. They just like fish. It's okay. Is it wrong to have a gorilla in the zoo? Maybe. I don't know. I've studied them in the zoo, though. I've seen them behind the scenes in the zoo. Maybe it's wrong. I don't know. I'm on the fence about that stuff. You know, they had elephants at the Calgary Zoo, and now they've removed them because they feel like they were just being tortured, and they were unhappy there, so they removed them. We try and do things. I don't know. Dolphins, no dolphins, and do not support dolphins and orcas in those SeaWorld places. One of my heroes is watch the Cove. Watch the Cove. Watch the Cove. Please watch the Cove. You'll meet one of my heroes in the Cove, the man behind that movie, and that they made it about. And you need to watch The Cove if you want to learn about dolphins and orcas and SeaWorld and stuff. It's very important. So I've seen Jurassic Park. What's next for you? What can we expect to see up and coming? Um, the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center is next. We'll just see. Money matters so much, you know, and I don't know. I get TV show offers every week and movie offers all the time, and I don't know. I just keep moving forward the best I can. You know what you want to expect from me is I want to get this discovery done. I want to finish this off big time. That's what I want, and that could happen anytime. It could happen, and not even me. Who cares if it's me? Somebody comes across a body, that could happen anytime. Somebody uh, finds something happens. I don't know. It's anywhere, at any time. This discovery could happen. It won't surprise me at all. Anybody could do it. It doesn't matter to me who does it. I just want it done. Excuse me. I'm not sick right now. Just my throat feels dry from all the chit chatting I'm doing. Do you think Sasquatch is intuitive, or can they sense a person's intentions? Yeah. hmm Cows are so stupid. A cow can't survive in the wilderness. They're dumb. They have no instinct. They're terrible. Sneak up on a cow and see what happens. Cow will lose its shit, right? Or maybe walk up to a cow just relaxed and feel peaceful, and the cow won't care, right? So, and that's a stupid cow. You know, deer and elk are beautiful, amazing creatures, magnificent beings, magnificent. And, you know, I've walked up into elk herds before and had them not care. And then, you know, and then seen a hunter get within miles of them and they run off. So I don't know. But there's something going on. There's something happening there. So um, they know that Todd has DNA and evidence to support that Sasquatch exists. They are keeping secrets for sure. Yep, Sasquatch do exist. So people need to watch Discovering Bigfoot. The footage is spectacular. The show is in plain sight. Yes, Travis. I hope most people on here have seen that. You know, it's on Netflix for free, and not for free, but if you pay for Netflix, it's on there. And I don't know. Yeah, just watch the show. So I don't own Discovering Bigfoot anymore. I made it, directed it, produced it, edited it. I did everything with the show, but it's not mine anymore. It belongs to like Time Warner, Warner Brothers, B movie, or whatever it is. Todd dead on scientists out there. Todd's dead on about scientists. Yes, so many of them are cowards. So many of them want to protect what they have built up, and they're afraid of more truth. It's really scary. But such scientists have a tendency to be the most conservative, disgustingly conservative people. It's scary, isn't it? Todd, send in DNA under my name to Ancestry and some of them see what they say. That's a good idea. In truth, I don't have any DNA right now, so I'll work on getting some new stuff when I can. It's not easy to get it. It's not like I go out there and find hair all the time. It's extremely difficult to get it. So yeah, will one ever be caught like in a cage? No, I don't think so. Don't think so. Again, you're talking about like an individual that'd be part of a family. Like, how would you? Let's say, okay, so a son of a Sasquatch got caught in a cave. Why wouldn't the dad come rip the cave apart or tear it apart? Or hell, they could pick up a log and 10 of them could smash a my point is, I don't got cut off there. I'm sorry. My point is that this is not. It's not like anything else. You can't compare this to a bear. Bears don't live in troops. Bears aren't a group, and they're devoted to each other, and they're intelligent, and they're so many things. Like, you're dealing with a whole other level that's not in nature. You can't compare this to anything. Even gorillas and chimpanzees are just not. Gorillas and chimpanzees can't survive in cold weather like this, and they don't move like this. They were not able to evade civilized man. Sasquatch, if Sasquatch exists and they've been in this continent all this time and they've been evading civilized man without trouble, you better be respectful of them because they're that amazing. Just a couple more questions You'll never take me alive. Bigfoot is crap, and their DNA. What a Bigfoot is to crap. Isn't there DNA in that? Yeah. In scat there is DNA, but you have to have it in a solution very fast. So you have to get the scat within a day or two, I think. I don't know the specifics behind it. I've never found super fresh Sasquatch scat. So, last questions, Mr. Standing. Should I refrain from going into the bush in Ontario and British Columbia to negate the dangers of Bigfoot? Should you? No, don't refrain. Okay, when you go in the bush, make sure you take a tracking device and make sure you go with somebody else and be very cautious because the wilderness is very dangerous and I don't want to have to go looking for anybody. So take all the precautions you can, but don't be afraid to go into the wilderness because of Bigfoot. And don't be afraid to go in the wilderness because of bears and mountain lions. They're real dangers, but be smart. Take really good care of yourself. Take it in baby steps. Don't go on big backcountry expeditions your first time out. Learn about the wilderness and read books and be very careful. Study what survival experts teach you. Just take it step by step. But don't be Sasquatch. Sasquatch aren't going to hurt you in the wilderness. I don't know. Maybe that would happen, but I don't know. People, there's an old expression. People that wait for good weather before they go out sailing should never leave dock. Something to that effect. And it's dangerous to go out in the wilderness. It's always going to be dangerous. You could get lost. But if we are technology. I don't know anybody who lives completely off the grid with no technology, like built his hut and his bowls and everything. There's always some technology involved in survival. Even men that live out in the woods and built their cabin, they shoot animals with their guns. Understand you're a technology-based being. Go naked in the wilderness and see how well you do. You won't. You need your shoes, you need your clothes. So use your technology. That's who we are. We're technologically based beings. That's what makes us the dominant known species on this planet, is our technology. Use it. Embrace it. Survive with it. I am going to start doing that immediately. I went out looking for that guy in Merritt, and I was in no danger of being lost or injured or anything. And you know, I went into an area I wasn't familiar with, but I know what I'm doing. But even there was a point out there, I was like, you know what? I should just be overly cautious. Why not be? You can't really be more than 100%, but why not be 100.0%? What if, I don't know, what if I fell and hurt myself or slipped or a tree collapsed on me and just something ridiculous, like be prepared. It's foolish for me to go out there and do that. And I realized that on my way home. I always want to answer to my son. He's the guy in my life. I have a daughter too. She's too little right now to answer to her, but I always want to answer to my son. My son tells me, he says, "Daddy, I love you so much, and you take good care of yourself." That's what Jonathan Whitman and Cody witnessed. Was when I went on an expedition and we were in the tent, I flipped open my bag and my little boy had thrown a note in there and said, "Daddy, please be safe. Make sure you come home safe." And I love him so much. He's such a wonderful, amazing dude. He's just my heart, my soul. So, anyways, thank you for tuning in today. And I'll be back next Wednesday. Have a good one.